Welcome back to New Lucid. Today we'll be taking a look at the Hope75, a new premium keyboard from Velocifire. This board was sent to us for review, but as always that will not affect our opinion or statements in any way. This video is brought to you by PCBWay. PCBWay has high quality PCB manufacturing, CNC, 3D printing, and much more. Their CNC machining service in particular offers plenty of material options, surface finishes, and specification choices. The instant quote feature they have for PCBs and CNC mean you can get an accurate price estimate for your parts instantly. Check the link in the description for more information. Let's get into the unboxing. First off, we get two goodies, a black and silver aviator cable and some stabilizers. Thanks to Velocifire for sending these out along with the board. So the Hope comes with this magnetic latched box, which is always a nice touch. Besides this, the packaging is pretty standard for the price range. Under this packaging is our board foam, polycarbonate plate, and orange hot swap PCB. Under this additional layer of foam is the board itself. I got the black case and gold aluminum weight option. Under here are our build components, like a light blocker for the badge, bottom feet, stab shims and a hex key, top gaskets, and bottom gaskets. So the Hope75 is an aluminum screwless gasket mounted 75%, offering hot swap and soldered PCBs with daughter boards. Hope is also multi-layout, and you can choose between exploded and compact 75. The hot swap PCB for exploded is fixed, while the soldered PCB can swap to split backspace, ISO enter, split left shift, and step caps. The hot swap PCB for compact 75 can swap to split left shift and split backspace, while the soldered PCB can swap to split backspace, ISO enter, split left shift, and step caps. Both soldered PCBs can swap to the same configs. Color options for the case are white, cream, black, yellow, mono, blue and black, burgundy and black, gray and black, silver and black, and yellow and black. Weight options are silver, black, and gold for aluminum, and silver and gold for PVD brass. Plate materials are polycarbonate, brass, FR4, POM, and aluminum. With Velocifire being a pretty big vendor, it makes sense to have a ton of options. QMK and VIA are both supported, and the typing angle is 6 degrees. Finally, the price for a Hope75 kit with the alu weight is $360, and a Hope75 kit with the brass PVD weight is $450. Hope is also screwless, meaning the build process is going to be a little bit more difficult than usual. In the PCB already are Velocifire PCB mounted screw-in stabs, lubed with 205 grade 0 and XHT BTZ. I'm going to add on the plate foam, polycarbonate plate, and in here goes stock Musetsu tactiles. These are sharp tactiles with very long poles, so they should make for a pretty interesting sound signature. Next, I'm going to disassemble the board. First are the screws under the feet, the LED strip and its diffuser, some inner case screws, and some more case screws that insert from the top. Next, I'll apply the gaskets. We have 5 different types, which all have designated locations on the plate. If you are considering picking this board up, I highly recommend familiarizing yourself with the build guide. With the gaskets installed, we can start the reinstallation process. First, I'm going to remove the ribbon cables from the LED and daughter board so I can put them into the PCB first. Once they're connected to the PCB, I'm going to route the cables through their holes and connect them back to the components. I really wish these were JST cables instead, as I find those much easier to work with. The first time I built this board, it actually didn't even work because the ribbon cable fell out. I've never had that happen with a JST cable. After this, we can screw in the weight, and the case screws access from the top. I had to remove some switches so the post could fit into the plate. There is an issue with these screws interfering with the switches, but this will be fixed for the Groupbuy units. Finally, on top goes GMK Blue Samurai. Let's take a listen. The sound without PCB foam is pretty average. Even with plate foam to cover up the cuts in the plate, it's still pretty dull and lifeless. The sharpness and pitch of the Musetsu tactiles in the first sound test really didn't help. The F-row is particularly hollow, so I would recommend using both the plate and case foam in this board. There are some special PCB foams included. Along with PE, you also get IXPE and regular EVA, which might be able to help with the liveliness of the sound. With SOTCs and case foam, the sound was better, but there was still some hollowness near the edges. I think the feel is a little bit similar to the Space 65. There isn't a whole lot of room to bounce, but the PCB and plate both have tons of cuts. It flexes very easily until it bottoms out, and then completely stops. Musetsus are very unique. It's a very large and sharp tactile bump, but the pole of the stem is also extra long. This means that pretty much the entire travel distance is just the bump, which in my opinion makes the topping out feel almost sluggish. Usually there is a decent amount of distance after the tactile bump for the stem to freely travel, like in a U4 dock, and when topping out it's easy to feel it. But in Musetsus, the distance is almost nothing, making it an almost unsettling change from the tactiles I'm used to. Of course, we already have our review out on SOTCs, so if you are interested in those very good switches, I would highly encourage taking a look. The design is pretty nice. On top is the lighthouse shaped badge with 2 LEDs. There is a bit of light bleeding, but foam is included to mitigate this. The top edge has pretty large chamfering. I'm not exactly sure what the lighthouse badge is included for, because nothing about the name Hope really connects with it in any way. Maybe a beacon in the darkness, but that's a bit of a stretch. Overall, even though the design is quite disjunct from the name, I quite like it. Moving to the side, we can see the clear separation between the top and bottom case, and the jagged cut on the top. The bottom weight also pokes out here. Turning it to the back, we can see how the top case hangs over the bottom case and the large LED bar on top of the weight. There's also an engraving of the same lighthouse icon on the bottom. The only gripe I have is that the magnetic feet are a little bit loose. It's great that they thought enough to implement easy to remove feet because the screws are under here, but they tend to fall off because the magnets aren't really strong. I really like the implementation of the back RGB as it provides this really unique glow to a setup. With Velocifire being a pretty big company, the material quality is great as expected. The anodization and machining is flawless on the inside and outside. To sum it up, I think this board looks great, but still has some areas of improvement, particularly in the foamless sound. But overall, the Hope75 is a very interesting and flashy addition to Velocifire's lineup of Groupbuy boards. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching this episode of Near Lucid. If you like this video, drop a thumbs up. If you have feedback or questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. We'd be more than happy to answer. Also, these videos take lots of work, and by subscribing, you're letting us know that you want us to keep making them. That's all for this video. I'll see you guys later.